Hi, Dave Smith here, DJS Photography. It's time for another video. I feel like I'm starting to get into a bit of a flow with the videos, but this one's going to be a little different to what I've posted so far. I'm really seeing my YouTube channel, seeing my blog, as part of a process of sort of providing learning activities really for other people, and I'm moving towards setting up workshops in northern Sweden where my house is. We have a great building there to use. Really looking forward to getting it going. But as I was thinking about workshops and about learning and about providing opportunities for people to learn about photography, got me to thinking about what constitutes learning. You know, what is learning, and is it different for adults than it is for young people? I've been an educator for pretty well 30 years now. I don't really like to say that out loud because, you know, frankly, if you've been doing anything for 30 years, you're pretty old. So anyway, 30 years, that's how long I've been teaching. And I think it's fair to say that by most people's standards I've been pretty successful at that, and I've had a very enjoyable time with it. But I think there seems to be a sort of feeling around that teaching to young people has got to be a different process to teaching to adults. And isn't, in any case, isn't it just crowd control in schools? I don't really believe that personally, and I've worked in some pretty difficult situations. I've worked in tough schools. I've worked with plenty of young people who really don't want to be there. And my overriding experience, really without fail, is everybody wants to learn. Even the most difficult teenager wants to learn. And the trick about being a teacher is to demonstrate to those youngsters that actually that's what you want as well. That you're not really there to be crowd control, you're not really there to police the classroom, but you're there to provide learning opportunities. And once you get that message across, what I find is even the most difficult youngsters do indeed want to learn. And then you can just get on with the process of teaching and learning. And once you've got to that point, then I think you're at a point where young people, adults, old people, anybody, are all in the same boat. We all just want to learn. And I really think that this deal about learning it is part of the human condition. It's kind of what sets us apart from many other species. And I think it's what makes people people. So once you've got to that point, then what? You know, what constitutes learning? Well, for me, learning is a doing thing. I don't think people learn because I, as a teacher, stand up in front of them and spew forth for hours on end. That's lovely for teacher because you get to demonstrate what you know, but that doesn't constitute learning. Just because I said it doesn't mean somebody learned something. Learning happens because firstly you did something, you had to do something, and secondly your brain had to intercede in some way. Now, I'm a lifelong learner like anybody else, and one of the things that I'll be doing possibly tomorrow is a screencast actually. Now, I've been working on digital negatives, about calibrating digital negatives, and I've put up a couple of videos so far. And I want to add to those videos to show how how I use Photoshop and and other aspects of the computer, the Epson drivers, to generate a digital negative and to calibrate that process. Now, this will be my first time using screencast software, and let me tell you, what I have not done is sit down and pore over manuals about how the software works. I mean, truly, who reads manuals? Nobody reads manuals. And that's the kind of adult learning equivalent of a teacher in a classroom standing up and telling students something. It doesn't work. The way I will learn how to screencast is that I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do one, and every time it goes wrong I'm going to work out why it went wrong and fix it and make it go right, and in that process I'll learn how to do it. And that's how I've learned how to use every piece of software I use, whether it's Photoshop or Lightroom. That's pretty much how it goes. And I've had a bit of a struggle recently. One of the problems I have at the moment is that my blog doesn't have the facility for people to subscribe by email. And I really want people to have that facility. It's in my mind to do quite a few articles that I think people might be interested in the near future. So there was something that I needed to learn how to do, and I connected my blog to MailChimp, and it took all day yesterday actually to make that connection, to set everything up, and I'm still at the point where I think there might be small bits of it not quite working, but that seems to be connected at least, and there is a possibility for people to subscribe because I've tested that bit. And I spent all day yesterday because there were many problems along the way, and I had to go and work out what that meant. And you go look at somebody's sort of online tutorial, and of course they've written their tutorial in a slightly different version, so nothing matches, and it's quite a problem. But in the end I worked through it, and that, I think, is how you get people to learn. People learn by getting on and doing something, getting it wrong, making mistakes, being happy to make mistakes, and learning from those mistakes about how not to do it that way next time round. And as we sort of build those skills and add to what we're doing, eventually we learn how to do it because we made all the mistakes. And so for me, that's learning. And what I want to do is to provide a series of opportunities to help people learn, not just the sort of basic rules of photography, the composition rules, the exposure rules, the rules, but actually I'm intending to take a different tack to that, and I'll say more about that another time. So just to sum up here then, what I've tried to get across is what I think learning is about, and the fact that learning is learning. It doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter what you're learning, it doesn't matter your gender. Learning is learning. And for me, after 30 years of practicing, I think learning is about doing. It's about having a problem to solve, working through it, finding the solution, and through that process, my word, you've learned how to do something. So I hope that's been of some interest anyway. Love to hear from you if you want to chat about that. Love to know if that is in fact of any interest to anybody. But thanks for listening. I'm going to do more of these discussions about learning and how to learn, and what I think about learning, and how I'm going to translate that into workshops and courses, and where I see those things going. And I think that my workshops and courses will be a little different to what you find elsewhere, simply because I come with a very particular set of beliefs about learning. So I think these conversations might be of some use if people are indeed intending to come and try out one of my courses. Thanks very much. Bye for now.